And welcome back to the Flickering Torch Podcast. Wow, it's been a while. This is Mr. Dead Scott.
And Smite.
And like I said, it's been quite some time because I got done married.
Yep.
And life has just been super chaotic.
He got himself a life co-host. So.
A life co-host, yeah. That's right, your days are numbered.
Yeah.
She has no interest in this.
Yeah.
Nope. None whatsoever.
Victory is mine.
So, again, as per our bylaws, we've been drinking because, toy.
We work for a living.
Yeah, no kidding. And so we finally did it, as we've been talking about probably for months, I think. We finally beat Resident Evil 7.
We actually beat it quite a while ago.
Yeah, we did, but I don't want to admit that.
Yeah.
Oh, oops.
Well, you had your wedding and life stuff after, for myself even. So.
I think we beat it before the wedding, didn't we?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like,
oops.
We even beat it before our last podcast.
You're right, we did.
Yeah. And I even procrastinated posting that one. So it's been a while.
Yeah, that's your fault.
Yeah. Hey, shh. Yeah, they don't have to know that.
So anyway, we beat Resident Evil 7, a.k.a. Scare the Crap Out of Smite, and give me a couple good jump scares.
Yeah.
So consider this your spoiler alert, as we'll put one in the comment, obviously, as well, too. Normally, as you guys know, we try not to talk about the game too much, but fuck that.
It's a good game.
We're just going to talk about it,
Yeah.
and we're going to ruin the story in the process. So if you want to play it, don't listen. Or wait, listen later.
Yeah.
Then get back to us on that.
So
what's Resident Evil 7?
Survival horror game typically means you are limited ammo, limited weapons, limited health. You survive, and it tries to scare you and murder your face off.
I would say, yeah, maybe not in that order.
Yeah, no, it's a accumulation.
But the cool thing with Resident Evil 7 was, and I know a lot of reviewers have said this and things like that, but it was totally a return to classic horror.
Yeah, and they're right.
Yeah, totally. They nailed it.
Yeah.
And we'll get into that, but like it harkened back to the early games in the franchise. It harkened back to those like original survival horror games where, you're not really getting out of this unscathed. You're just maybe gonna get out of it.
Yeah. It's less arcade mode in actual horror. Mm-hmm. Like, you still feel like you have control over it, but the game does punish you. Like, it gives you the options, but it's not like you're some superhero with unlimited ammo.
No, you're quite human, as the game demonstrates pretty early on, with the dismemberment and me dying in the first pseudo boss fight really quickly.
Oh yeah.
To a chainsaw, nonetheless.
I mean, you will die quite often, at least towards the beginning. Towards the end, it doesn't punish you, but that's part of the later.
What was my total death count? Like 20 something?
Was it that high?
Or 12?
I thought it was like 12. I don't
Maybe
think
it was 12.
That high.
I can't remember.
We did die a lot though.
Yeah.
With me at the beginning with the chainsaw. Fucking chainsaw.
Oh wow, yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, that was freaky.
Freaky. I would say the part where she freaking plunges a screwdriver into your hand and sticks you to the wall. It's like, oh god.
Well, then you pull it out and she tries to chainsaw you.
Yeah.
And then you like block the damn chainsaw, and then
with
she
your
chases
arm.
you. Yeah.
Good thing I picked up my hand.
Yeah, it's a good thing.
It would have been a weird game without the second hand.
Well, I mean, you could do it.
I imagine it was one of those like you didn't have to pick it up, but if you did, it didn't change the outcome.
Yeah.
But
I mean, they would have found your arm and.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. But you obviously didn't need to hold a flashlight. It was like a headlamp the whole time, but you never had the ability to turn it on and off.
Yeah, I forgot about that. That would have been... We'll get to that and what didn't work, because that was one of those things that didn't work.
It brought up because it's like, oh, your hand's back, but you don't use it for anything.
Yeah.
Besides checking your watch.
Or closing a door.
What time is it? I'm fuck time. Shit.
Yeah. What time is it? Time for me to die.
Yeah.
Great.
All right, so what worked well?
Gosh. Okay, so for starters, it was scary. Like, I played tons of horror games over the years. Classic horror, survival horror, action horror. That shit was spooky. Like, it was so much fun. Like, there were just moments where it's like, okay, we got to turn the corner, and you're on the couch freaking out.
Yeah.
Like, it was so funny to, like, turn and look at you just, like, all balled up with, like, your hands near your teeth, and it's just like...
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not like a jump scare either. It was just true psychological and just intensely horrifying. Like...
Oh, God, the tension was intense.
It's like, what's going to be around the corner? It's not that it jumps out at you, because like, a lot of the creatures are slow moving. There are jump scares.
Yeah, a couple.
But it is so godly creepy, and the setting and everything leads to being just bloody horrible.
Well, it immerses you so well into this really fucked up plantation house.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't want to be here. Like, I really don't, like, just get me out of here.
Yeah.
Like, where's the exit?
Sorry, wife, or whatever you are. Peace.
Yeah.
You know?
Sorry, Mia. Peace out.
Yeah. And I'm not going to like anyone named Jack ever again. So, especially if they're, like, ever a father-in-law or anything. Nope. Done. Not doing it.
Oh, my gosh. So... Other things that we thought worked really well, the limited inventory system and management. I was really surprised. Like, normally that is such a huge pain in the ass when it's like, oh, I've got six spots for items. You can tell I've been drinking. But I've got 20 different things I got to carry.
Yeah.
Like, I got to remember where it is. I got to go back to it. I got to use it. Blah blah blah. Like, it was a really good balance. It was expandable inventory, but at the same time, it wasn't like you couldn't carry everything with you.
Yeah. They didn't throw that many items at you, and when they did, either you had the ability to go to your loot box, which we only did a few times, and we did it more than we needed to just for organizational purposes and experimenting.
I got a problem.
But I have no problem with that if you want to do it. But the game didn't throw like too many items at you where you just couldn't handle it or carry it, and you weren't too limited on space where it just felt unfair or like you didn't get enough items. It was really well balanced.
Well, in the moments where you did get a lot of items, it was used almost immediately.
Yeah. Oh, I'm getting into a boss fight. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, oh, okay, I've got 35 pistol rounds, 12 shotgun rounds, and 6 bombs. Yeah, boss is coming up.
Yep.
Like, you learned the routine with it, but at the same time, it helped a lot.
Yeah.
It made survivability a lot more feasible.
At any moment when you say, oh, I can heal, you're going to face a boss.
Yeah.
So.
I have like 3 health pots. I think I'm good.
Yeah.
No, you're not.
Good menuing systems.
Oh my gosh, that was really good.
This is all you because I didn't actually control it.
Yeah, I geeked out hardcore with this. Like, I didn't think I'd be such a sucker for like a good menu, but like the use of like, because it was set in the modern times. It was set in 2016, last year, or whenever year you're watching this. Just subtract. I'm not good at math. But like it actually had like a smartwatch. Was like your menu and like showed your health. And it popped up a quick little menu, and like there were a bunch of small items that were tiny little things on the screen that you would flick or touch or whatever. Your character wouldn't actually do it, but that's what I would imagine you would do if you were in that scenario. Yeah. Because that's what you would do with a smartwatch.
Yeah.
So it was actually really unique and cool. And I mean, I've seen other games do that with like, oh yeah, like the menu's my phone, and it's like, okay, like some of them do it really well, some of them suck at it, But that was a really cool like little heads-up display. But the cool part about it that I liked was that it did not pause the game.
Yes, it was live. Yeah,
it was live. Like it basically is just like, oh, I'm just gonna look at my watch here real quick, like, and then all of a sudden something hits you from behind. It's like, ah.
Yeah, you should have been paying attention, Ethan.
Yeah. Or maybe stand in a safe room while you do that. Like, there's a reason they're called safe rooms.
Yeah, and it was easy to manage. I mean, you're on console, so it's probably easier if it was on PC or something.
Oh, it would have been a breeze. Yeah.
It was still really well manageable watching you, and you never took too much time in it. And plus, it was always cool to watch the heartbeat on the watch.
Yeah.
I mean, like the old Resident Evils, you would have the heartbeat and. It'd have the color coordinate like red. Oh, you're fucked if you don't have an herb. But this one, it was really good and well done, even from a spectator standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
And the first person view,
revolutionary. I mean, I know that's a big thing to say, but like it made a huge difference in that game.
Yeah, if you were third person, it would totally take away from the immersion.
Uh-huh.
Like. You don't even know what Ethan looks like, even when you do come across yourself.
Oh, it's amazing. Like,
you don't even see.
The mirrors are either too dirty, the flashlight gets in the way, the stupid flashlight. The times where you're remembering a scenario or hallucinating, because you do hallucinate a little bit. Like, I tried it. Like, I tried to get close to see what Ethan looked like, and, like, the game purposely would either slow me down or speed up the animation of Ethan being dragged in a room you can't see.
Yeah.
So it was actually really clever because it really added to the immersion of, oh, maybe I'm Ethan. Maybe this is my story. Maybe, it kind of goes back to that, even though Ethan wasn't silent, the silent protagonist in many games like Half-Life and all that kind of other stuff were like, oh, I'm Gordon Freeman.
Yeah.
I'm Master Chief, etc.
It's like, it's not important who Ethan is, it's important about the story and what he's trying to do, which is your choice. It's not about Ethan, although they say his name and stuff, which is fine. But it's like, okay, I'm Ethan. I get this. I'm Ethan in this point. Yeah, so like, and plus being that close in that limited field of view in a scary claustrophobic fuck house, like it's beautifully done. God, that's creepy.
Yeah.
Just thinking back. So items, there's good and bad with the items.
Yeah, the items. I think the items worked well. Like, I liked the healing items were really unique this time around. Like, yes, there were herbs, but there's chem fluid, and so you don't know what's in the chem fluid, but whatever it did, like, it made like a really cool like topical liquid. Like that part where like I took too long to solve the puzzle and I got my leg chopped off, and then like you could reattach it almost immediately.
Yeah.
Which that might explain why we were so slow through most of the game, because I got my leg chopped off. I doubt that's the reason, but it might be.
Yeah.
But the healing items were cool. I really liked the oh god, what were they called? The
Psychostimulants.
Psychostimulants. Yeah. That was really cool because like they were they're limited use items, but they highlighted any potential missing item you didn't get.
Yeah.
So it kind of gave people like you could not use them and give yourself a challenge, but it really gave people a chance to survive.
We didn't use them towards the end. We used a lot towards the house because there were so many cluster items and easy place to hide. So
which I'm sure I missed a lot of stuff by not using it near the end.
Yeah. Well, finding the shotgun or the wooden shotgun, whatever we found under the porch, we didn't use Psycho. We actually like had to look that up because we didn't have any at the time. But
that was for the weapon kit.
The weapon kit to fix the shotgun.
Yep.
Right.
Which that was game changing.
Yeah. So.
Oh my god, that was great.
Yeah, we admit looking it up, but we just came across it. I think looking at how long the game was. I think or something like that. We were looking.
Well, no, I found the one under the porch on my own, but we had to look up the other one to repair the pistol.
Okay, yeah, that's right.
Because I thought we skipped it.
Yeah.
And that was the scary part, because it's like, we need a stronger pistol.
Yeah. And so, like, the items were good. I think there was a good customization between, like, the pump for, like, more ammo holding compared to the double barrel, which was just ungodly strong.
That thing was great.
And, the pistol's like, oh, cool, I got a stronger pistol. But that also leads to what didn't work, which was We'll get to that. But I did like the chem fluid. It was probably some infected shit they had around the house because like you can reattach your limbs with it, and it was like insta heal, which goes along with the lore in this game. And you learn more about what's fucked up and how you can like instantly heal yourself. But the herbs don't do shit. So if you don't mix them with chem fluid, you're just wasting.
You can eat them.
You can eat them, but they don't really heal that much.
Not that much.
They're like 5, maybe 10% compared to like
the 25.
25, yeah. So like you could eat a bunch of herbs, but you're just wasting resources. And gross. But that leads to design and art.
Was phenomenal. The house was terrifyingly immersive and real, and like you could imagine walking into a plantation home in the Louisiana swamp and just imagining that's what a house that was left to rot and abandoned would look like.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, we talked about that briefly on like the time frame, which we'll talk about in the canon a little bit later. But like even the artwork in the home was phenomenal. Like the areas were really cool. Like the boathouse was very well done. The actual boat tanker, it was okay. The mines, they had their moments.
I mean, they all make sense being there. They do puzzle it together. Like the house, really creepy when it's all like desolate and overgrown and thrashed as it is. It was really great art setting. Very creepy, especially when you're claustrophobic. And then you get into like the basement where it's all like oozy and stuff.
Oh yeah.
With the creatures.
Yeah, surgical, but still like somebody forgot to like turn off the swamp cooler.
Yeah. And what's great about like the house itself, art wise, is like it's a narrow hallway and anything could pop out, but nothing really does except for a few points. But that kind of leads back to the original ones where you're walking down a hallway and fucking Nemesis or whoever jumps through the goddamn wall, so
or the dogs in the first game.
Yeah, like those through the windows. So it kind of has like throwbacks and stuff, but like the art just kind of it was really good. Like you could expect things. It was creepy. It was horrifying. It fit everything well. I mean, the tanker was overgrown and stuff too, and the mines were
mines.
Yeah,
the mines are just kind of like it felt like kind of like a plot tie-in.
Yeah.
Like, okay, how are we gonna bring this full circle?
Yeah, which I mean, it makes sense
Story-wise.
Yeah, story-wise, but they were just kind of meh. Open world plus explorative environment.
Kind of jumped into that a little bit, didn't we? Yeah.
I mean,
sorry, my brain just shut down right there.
oh no. I mean, the game's very open, in a sense. It is linear at first, and then it opens up, and then it kind of gets to a little bit linear. But like, it kind of like just nudges you and progresses you to continue and find stuff and push you along.
Yeah, it nudges you in certain areas and then forcefully kicks you in the ass in others. But yeah.
I mean, at first it's very linear because you
don't get a choice.
You don't get a time to explore. It gives you a horrifying, like, you're being chased constantly. And after you get rid of Jack, like, the first time or something, then you have time to explore around the house. And you're like, okay, where is everyone? You're still panicky and creepy, but you can still explore without being bothered, which is nice. And then even outside, you can explore without being bothered but by creeps or bugs. Fucking mosquitoes. I forgot about those.
Oh, God, those things were huge.
Those are the worst design. I hate those.
Oh, those were amazing. One thing I forgot to add in here that I just thought of that I thought worked really well was the actual ability to defend yourself. And I don't mean like with a weapon, but like block an attack.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's one of the first Resident Evils that actually has like a block button. Like, some had dodge, some had roll, but most of the time it was just you need to shoot the thing first or hit the thing with a knife or something first before it hits you.
Yeah.
But this one, you could actually like put up your arms to block something coming at you, like with whatever you had in your hands.
Yeah.
And that was actually kind of brilliant, in my opinion.
Because if you timed it right, you didn't have to take much damage at all.
No.
So like you could put skill in it and like save a ton of items.
Well, and like with the New Game Plus feature that we unlocked, I think Secrets of Defense, like this book that you can get access to, like when you defend, you take like 50% less.
Dang.
Along with the defend, and then if you New Game Plus, with getting all the secret bobbleheads, it's actually 100% blocking. So like you take no damage when you defend.
Oh, that's cool.
Which is how most people speedrun the game with a knife.
Yeah.
Yeah, they speedrun it with a knife.
That's crazy.
But yeah, like that's one thing I did want to add that worked really well was like the whole concept of actually being able to like what a normal person would do and put their fucking arms up.
Yeah, instead of just getting eaten by a zombie.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I still have a gun in my hand, but I didn't think to block or hit it.
Yeah.
Like, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, it actually helped a lot because it's like, okay, what would I do in this scenario? I'd probably put my arms up like an idiot.
Yeah, it's a natural reaction. Yeah. No, that was actually quite immersive doing that. Yeah, that's good. I'm glad you touched point on that. The keys, puzzles, hidden spots, all pretty good.
Those are good.
I liked them. The puzzles make sense. Even like I was mentioning outside, it's like you find an invoice to install these these shadow puzzles and stuff, which was cool because like you're like, who the fuck would have these in their house? Like what kind of security system shit is this? And then
you imagine if you lost the token to actually open the door. It's like, oh god, like where did I put this weird block of metal?
But there's actually like a legit want for it, and they put an invoice in the game about you paying to fucking get these, or the owner's paying to get these shadow keys or puzzles installed.
Well, it even says, I think, somewhere in the invoice, it's like, who the fuck would want something like this? Like,
yeah, which was funny. But it's like that attests to most puzzles. Like, it's like you're going through Devil May Cry and you're like, you're in the human world, but what the fuck are these puzzles? You know, what are these here for? They weren't built by the damn demon-y things. So
who makes me do a water puzzle with 3 glasses and trying to get all
yeah. So it was pretty good. I liked it. I'll leave this one to you.
Oh yeah, the ending and the twist and the story itself. Like the story was really good.
Yeah.
This is probably one of the bigger Resident Evils I've enjoyed recently. Everybody's got love for 4. Everybody's got love for 1. 5 and 6 were eh.
I like 1 and 2.
Two was good. I like 3 more than 2.
Huh.
I don't know why I just did. But like 7 was amazing with the story. And we didn't really figure it out until like the very end of the game. I mean, we had found like the magic item to end all be all kill the boss, and then found the notes surrounding it.
Super spoiler coming
and then
up.
Put it together through just talking it out, Because like we were in the room and it's like no, it's got to be this. It's got to be Evelyn. Like it has to be her. And then you find out that like all of the notes that you had read before and all the story and like everything just comes crashing together all at once, and it's like, oh shit. And then like Big Bad comes up and gets much bigger and badder, and it's like oh big time shit, this is not good. And then it's almost too late to like react. You just are too late to do anything. You have to react.
Well, the funny, like, the thing is like when this is the super spoiler part, is when you find the first like fetus thing, you're like, okay, and then like the skeleton up in the closet or whatever, after you find the fetus, there's that skeleton in the attic or whatever. The kid, and so you're like, is this like I forgot, was it Eve or whoever Evie, yeah. So like you're like, okay, so who's this other kid? Is this the other kid? Or like you get portraits, and through it, I was talking to you, and I was like, it's totally has to be like Evie or like someone behind this. Like, who's this little girl by like aging standards? It should be. And then you totally like get slapped in the face, like everything comes together, and you're like, is this still like okay? This Yeah.
Then you find that Evie and Evelyn are the same person, but they're grandma, but they're not grandma.
Yeah, no, you're like, and then it tells you like, oh yeah, this caused this person to age rapidly due to like the biological acceleration and stuff. And you're like, holy shit, it's grandma.
Click right
and
there.
And then you're like, it's the creepy bitch that always ends up in the places
that you can't shoot.
That you can't shoot, and it's like, well, no shit. Okay, now it makes sense. Game, thank you.
Well, and the funny thing about that is like the I just realized as I said it, you can't shoot her.
Yeah.
You can't shoot her because she's making you not shoot her with her abilities that she developed from this bioweapon.
And that also leads to me to think that you're infected.
We'll get to that.
Yeah, which is
I want to talk about that. We'll get to that, I promise.
Yeah. So that keep that point in mind.
Yeah. That I get it. Yeah, you rub it in later.
Yeah.
After the podcast. Okay, so what didn't work? There were only a couple things.
Yeah, the first point's yours, so I'll let you take that one.
Like near the end of the game, I felt incredibly overpowered. And I mean, part of that is definitely due to the fact that we found weapons that were stronger, but we didn't get all the weapons available to us. But like, by the time I got the submachine gun, the hunting shotgun, and the homemade grenade launcher, there wasn't many things that really scared me.
Yeah. And if you were smart about it, you could build up shotgun ammo and just.
Oh yeah, and if once you learned how to manage the recoil with the submachine gun, it was real simple. It's like and then the thing was dead.
Yeah.
And I wasted like maybe 20 rounds.
I swear the Bison wasn't that recoil heavy, but oh well.
If you held the trigger long enough, it definitely climbed on you.
Like in real life though, it's like, geez, that Bison jumps a lot in this game. Like, what's up with it?
It's a machine gun, it has to.
Yeah, I know. You just can't make it overpowered, but one thing is like the unclear ending tie-ins with past games, because you see
like there's
Chris Redfield.
Chris pops up at one point, and very briefly he pops up. Umbrella pops up at one point, and it's like the first mention of Umbrella.
And there's
at the
like,
end of the game.
Yeah, there's a lot of talk about like even in like the cutscenes when you first get to the boat about Mia and like, oh, be careful and look out for other corporations attacking the ship.
Oh yeah.
And things like that, and then you're like, okay, they mention other corporations that are after the biological weapon and stuff like that, but they don't really tell you. And then they flash like Umbrella, and you're like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
What else? It's like good for setting up a sequel, but
well, it's super open ended, which is like you said, it's great for the sequel, but as like the gamer, it's like, God fucking damn it, just tell me something. Like you can just give me a snippet of something.
Especially what Ethan says at the end. Like,
oh yeah, with where. You finish killing the big bad, and you're pretty fucked up by the end of it. You know, you're really not even standing; you're on the ground.
Yeah.
And these mercs / special unit forces appear, and his response is like, "What took you guys so long?" But he says it in such a tone, like the voice acting was perfect for it, because it's either the tone of the asshole, like, what the fuck took you so long? I had to do everything myself.
Yeah.
About time you guys show up.
Yeah.
And then it was the, what took you so long? I told you where I was going. I told you what I was going to do. How come it took you guys this long to get here?
Yeah. So it kind of led you both ways. Yeah, like, like, oh, I needed help as like a standard civilian kind of person, like, where what took you guys so long to come help me? And then there's other times like you're the special unit. It's like, where was my backup, assholes? Like
you were the scout, and it's like, here's a potato and a match. You'll be perfectly fine.
You didn't even start with a freaking knife.
Yeah.
Who goes in without a weapon when someone's kidnapped? I mean, shit.
You get a pocket knife eventually.
But we'll get into the more canon part, I guess, at the end. Someone used weapons and ability. So this is my comment.
This is you, yeah.
So you get there's weapons in the games you don't need. You can get like the Magnum, the 44,
right?
Which it gives you limited ammo. But it's like, okay, I didn't need it. I'm great for the customization, but I didn't need a lot of it. Like the flamethrower was useless after the mosquitoes, in my opinion. It was horrible against the sludge monsters.
Well, the flamethrower had its purpose. Like it was mainly all at like the boathouse.
Yeah. Kind
of part. Or what did they call it? They called it the old house or something like that?
Yeah.
I can't remember. Like, it was necessary for that. It was necessary for the fight against the mother. And then after that, it's like, eh?
Yeah. And you got flame fuel, like, later on. You're like, okay.
Which you could convert that into grenade rounds.
You could, but
it required a lot of work.
Yeah. It's unlike the rest of the game, in a sense.
And, I mean, at one point, too, like, we had so many weapons. It's like, okay, like, what do I want to use? Like, because I had, like... so that we have the potential for 3 pistols, 2 shotguns, 4 pistols actually. 4 pistols, 2 shotguns, the machine gun, the grenade launcher, the remote bombs, 2 knives, which clearly one was better than the other, but...
Yeah. So, I wish, like, if you got the weapon kit, you would not... get both shotguns, but you disassembled one to build another. Yeah, that
would have been a cool feature.
So that way you could like take time to swap between the two, maybe. Like 2 different customizations would be a cooler, like a flamethrower or a grenade launcher, or shotgun, the double barrel, or the pump. I think that would have been a cooler feature, because that way you'd have to like think ahead, like, okay.
Well, because it's interesting, because like the pump was definitely short range and spread.
Yeah.
It was like birdshot is what they gave you, whereas like the hunting shotgun was like a slug.
Yeah.
Like it was a concentrated hit.
Definitely a Duke Nukem kind of like master weapon of awesome.
I mean, it was great. You get close enough and point that thing at something's head and it died.
Yeah.
I mean, it exploded. But yeah, like the unused weapon aspect, like that's a brilliant idea actually with the weapon kits. It's like,
thank you.
Disassemble. Okay, you're right 3 times tonight. 2 more and the apocalypse happens, folks. You disassemble one weapon and use it to fix another, which may have a different feature to it, may be stronger. That would have been beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Instead of just stacking weapons in your crate.
Yeah.
I just think that would have been a cool, small little detail feature, but something moving forward maybe for you guys.
We'll see.
Also one of my small quirks is, God damn it, Ethan, you might have had your leg cut off, but I swear through the whole game you, no offense to anyone handicapped, but you sprint like a super cripple. Like you do it.
The movement was really slow.
It's like, okay, you walk like normal, it's like great, but you kind of like hobble, and it's like, okay, so like, are you injured because of your leg? But you're also moving faster than you would imagine someone who's like crippled or disabled would. So like that's where the super cripple comes from. It's like you're faster than being like someone who actually has like a disability or crippled.
You're focusing too much on that, by the way.
But it's like at the same time, it's like the movement speed doesn't feel right for someone who's scared out of their goddamn mind.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like even if you were scared for that long, being that long stuck in this madhouse of horrors, you would think that he would either be moving faster or you wouldn't be able to control the speed.
Yeah.
Because he's just petrified with fear.
Yeah.
But the fact that you still press on and continue means that you're somewhat comfortable with this scenario. Not completely, but a little bit enough to press on.
Yeah.
And like I think in maybe like the chase scene aspect, where you're constantly being followed by Jack the whole time or Marguerite, like I could see where your movement speed should increase a little bit because the adrenaline's pumping, you're moving and grooving, and
the guy's chasing after you with a fucking shovel after you just chopped the cop's head off.
Yeah,
like you're gonna run.
My God, that was terrifying and amazing at the same time.
Yeah,
I was like, oh God, I'm screwed.
Yeah, it's like you would run. I mean, from certain points of the game, I could understand why you'd be like hesitant or like slow and like getting away, or putting your arms up to defend in reaction. But a lot of times, like, you're gonna be like, oh shit. You're not gonna just like, I'm gonna penguin waddle my way out of there. Yeah, it's like you're gonna actually try to book it. Because if I was in that situation, I would be the Olympic freaking runner of the year. Because I would be scared shitless.
Well, it's almost like, hey, let's put weights on our legs just to see what happens.
Yeah.
So with that goes in kind of with like the pacing, which is another good point you had as well. Like, the pacing in the game was rough sometimes.
It was odd.
Because like there were the moments we're talking about the chase scenes where like you were constantly running from somebody, not enough time to explore, barely enough time to know what the hell you needed to do.
Yeah.
You think you're hiding and you're not. And then there's moments where it's like, hey, we're going to give you a little reprieve from this and just kind of explore the house.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah, because the first, 2 hours of the game, because if you're taking it at, a first playthrough pace, it's all about you being chased by Jack, and then the VHS where you're being chased by Margaret.
Oh, that was creepy.
Through the VHS.
We'll get to that in a second.
Yeah, so it's like... The whole game is like you have no reprieve. Like at the beginning, you get the first VHS, and you're like, oh crap, this is scary. But then after that, it's just 100% cops chasing you, Jack's chasing you. You kill him after the first time. Then suddenly like he's not there to bother you, and you're like,
oh cool.
Can I explore? And you can, and one of the black muck creatures come out. But...
Well, no. The first time I got rid of Jack, it opened up the main lobby to the house.
Yeah.
And then I thought I was good until I went into the bathroom and triggered a scene where Jack reappeared.
Yeah.
And then it was back to chase scene. So I had maybe 20 minutes to explore before I triggered something by accident, which, the good storytelling.
Yeah.
But it kind of crap, then I got to go back into the Dear Sweet God run and we're going to die.
Mm-hmm.
Then you knock him down again. I don't see him for a while, thankfully.
Yeah. And then it opens up once you get the house done, and you're like, okay, so the idea was I finish the house because there's 4 different keys or 3 different keys, right? And you're like, okay, once I finish the basement and I finish the house,
scorpion key, snake key,
and the bird crow,
raven key.
That's it.
Yeah, 3.
Yeah. I mean, then you got the bridge went
the crank's different.
Yeah,
that's a puzzle.
But because you're running from Jack, blah, blah, you kill Jack, okay. And there's 2 other members, but then, I'm not in the house with all these keys. I'm going to the next piece, and you're outside, and it's, full open exploration. And then you get to the next point of the house where it's okay, this is great. So once you finish all the house areas and you kill all the family members... Most, yeah, then you're like...
What now?
Yeah, and you're like, okay, I got on the boat and escaped.
Cool.
And you're like, okay, I'm driving away. Yay, we survived. And it's this cutscene's continuing. And then boom, you're on a fucking boat. And you're like, what does this boat have to do anything? Where? I wasn't set up for anything like this. I thought the game was ending. No, here's 6 more hours of content.
Well, that was the cool thing about it from the story aspect, because the boat did play a good point in the story plot.
Yes.
Did it function as an environment? Well, not really.
And they didn't set you up for it. They didn't let you know you're going to. That was my complaint.
But it did answer a lot of questions.
Yeah, which I'm glad. Because, if I would have had so many unanswered questions, just, saving me or Zoe and then hightailing out of there.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, it's I really thought, it might have been the end. Because people said it was a short game.
Yeah.
So it's I had no idea we were going to be hitting the boat or doing that. They didn't really lead into it. You knew you were going to go to the different parts of the house.
Yeah.
But you had no idea you were going to hit the boats and then the mines.
The mines again were just... I feel the mines were nothing more than just a way to come full circle back to the house.
Yeah. But that's my rant.
Mm-hmm. No, I get it. Yeah, and again, they're good points. They're things that didn't really, in our opinion at least, didn't really work that well.
Yeah.
So... Let's jump over to the puzzles briefly, because some of these were just phenomenal.
This is all you.
The puzzles were incredibly clever, in my opinion. Because we talked about hidden items, we talked about the treasures that you could find in the house, the puzzles themselves, how they were called back to the old times, because they had the Shadow Light puzzles where you would take the item and you would manipulate it to match what it would fit. So like the first one was like an eagle, and then another one was like a spider, and then one was like a
Scorpion, I think.
Maybe something like that. I know there was one where it was like the executioner holding an axe. That was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
And you had to like find a way to rotate this item. Thankfully, it paused the game while you were doing it. Otherwise, I think you would have died a couple times.
Yeah.
To make it work. And so that was really cool. And so these puzzles, they weren't that hard. Like, we were able to figure them out pretty damn quickly. Either by dying horrifically or just trial and error. Which was kind of nice because it was a callback, I should say, to some of the original games, where like the puzzles were not that difficult. You just had to have all the right tools and kind of the know-how on how to do it. But I want to talk about the VHSs. Because those were awesome.
Yes, they were.
I did not think that you could tie in something that well. Like, so the VHSs were kind of like, they were kind of like a preview into the next section, but also told a little bit about the story as well. Because like the first VHS you encounter, like you just think like, oh, like okay, a little bit of lore building, whatever. And it's these dudes who are like doing this like ghost hunters show, that they call like what, Crocodile Ghost or something like that, or can't remember. But like they explore the house, and it's like, okay, I've been in this room, okay, I've been here, and then like all of a sudden they find like a flume release on a fireplace that opens a trap door into another part of the house where some horrific shit starts to happen, and then you see all those dudes face a grizzly hen, sadly.
Yeah.
And so like that was really cool, and then showing Mia trying to live in the house the 3 years that she disappeared was really cool, and living with the Baker family.
Yeah. And what happened to the third camera guy?
Yeah, what happened to the third camera dude?
Later on, which was cool.
Oh, man.
I forgot all about him.
The happy birthday? Yeah.
Which was great, because if you don't do the puzzle right...
Oh, you die.
You die, yeah, as Ethan. Even, like, you die, of course, as the VHS, but then you have to start over. But, like, it sets you up, because if you didn't have that precursor of, like, what you were doing...
There's no way you would have done.
Yeah, you would have just kept dying and dying and dying. It would have been super annoying. Which was pretty clever, actually, the things you had to do to solve that puzzle. I really like that scene.
It was like a step down from like the old Saw movies, like the original Saw movies, where it was like, hey, here's a clever trap to get through. By the way, if you don't solve it, you die.
Yeah.
What?
And the freaking Saw doll was there, basically. That,
yeah. There's a little bit of a callback to that, and
animatronic thing.
That thing was creepy as shit when it grabbed my arm. Yeah. Oh my god.
I was not expecting.
No, neither was I.
Yeah.
I thought, it's gonna write something on like this paper, and I gotta read it or something.
Yeah.
It writes on your fucking arm.
Yeah, it gives you a tattoo. It's like, oh, look, I gave you your finger back. We're friends. Oh my god, tattoo.
Yeah. Oh, why did I do this for you?
Yeah.
Why are you hurting me? And then like with the VHS with Mia. Showing what happened to the tanker before it went to shit was really good tying, because it's like, oh, okay, maybe she's a little bit more hardcore than I thought she was. This is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Like, it was actually really impressive.
Given a reason to leave.
But those tapes were perfect.
Yeah.
I mean, it was kind of like corny and goofy. It's like, oh, okay, like a callback to like my, youth in the 80s as a child, like watching cartoons on VHS. But like, just the way it tied in, gave you a little bit of foreshadowing, and was super immersive. It was actually a nice break.
Yeah.
From the shit show horror that you were going through.
Yeah. Especially when you find one in the trailer after just leaving the house. You're like, oh, this is cool, like, break from the game to play VHS. But if Ethan was any younger, he wouldn't have understood what a VHS was.
Yeah.
He'd have been, like, wrapping around his head, like, what do I do with this?
It's a book that doesn't open?
Yeah.
And it's got two spinny things? I don't know.
That's a joke for all you hipsters. We're not that old. It just... A lot of younger people don't even know what rolling up the windows is these days, because you have electronic windows, so... It's, yeah.
God, I remember that growing up.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to tangent. Okay, so let's jump into the meat and bones of this. Like, so does Resident Evil 7 fit in the canon well of Resident Evil franchise?
Yes.
Okay. We're done.
Yeah.
Ta-da! No, let's explore that a little bit more, if that's okay.
Yes and no, I guess.
Because, like, let's start with the obvious one. It's not zombies.
Nope.
It's not Las Plagas.
Nope.
It's not Ouroboros.
Nope.
It's not whatever the fuck was going on in 6, because I refuse to talk about 6, because it was just trash.
Yeah.
And so, like, they were like the monster creatures were called, like, what, the molded or something like that, or
I don't remember.
the goo, Zagoo. But they were just like these moldy, like, tentacle creatures that were human at one point. Clearly,
There were humans that their anatomy was reconstructed into a different, like, biological mass due to the...
that's such a nice way of saying horrifically mutated to,
Yeah.
pain, to the levels
Well, I
of pain.
mean, you literally take the molecules and, like, the mass of the human body, and they turn into that gross, vomity stuff.
Yeah, you know, it's just like kind of like taking spinach and just kind of like throwing it in the blender for fun, and it just gets kind of all gooey.
Yeah,
and
and then
gross.
shaping into a monster that will murder your face off.
Yeah. So it's not any of those things, and I thought it was a nice change because it's like, okay, let's like go back to that old mansion style thing.
Yeah.
Feel, but then like instead of doing what everybody expects, let's make it something different. So it's kind of like if you had like, you know, like you didn't clean your kitchen for months and whatever the hell was growing in between the two plates all of a sudden be able to communicate and then had bloodlust against you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's kind of what you were fighting.
Yeah.
Um,
Except 9 foot tall.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that was interesting. And then, like, one thing I kind of realized as we were kind of playing through it, like, the whole game kind of seemed to be kind of around some sort of healing factor. Like I talked about with the health pods, you know, it was like this liquid that automatically would, like, reattach limbs.
Yeah.
And even with, like, the Baker family, like, the dad, like, you killed him. Like, you speared him with a fucking I-beam with his head missing. He came back to life. I saw his head reconstruct in front of me. Mm-hmm. Like, it was just being regenerated like nothing.
Yeah.
And then, like, what? We cut him in half with a fucking chainsaw at one point, which was a fun fight.
He even, like, got ran over by a car, his head spewed on a, I-beam, and then he was on fire, and then you chopped him in half, and then I forgot the last one.
Oh, he mutated into this Morphous thing, and, like, you stabbed him with one of the cures.
That's right.
And he turned into this, like,
That was, like,
crusty-
towards the end of the game, so you're like, oh, I
yeah,
can
that was
really
like
kill him.
that was like the halfway point when you finally kill him. But like, it was everything was around healing. Like even Lucas was trying to explain to you like, why do you have a problem with this, Ethan? Look, and like his arm gets chopped off in the first part of the game and it grows back. He rips off one of his fingernails and it starts to grow back on the camera. Like it's all about this healing ability. And so instead of it kind of being focused on like a bioweapon aspect, it's more of like a super soldier serum to some extent.
Yeah. It has its good and bads.
Mm-hmm.
You can be a crazy little child that will murder everyone.
Well, that was one of the cool parts about the stories when they found out they could only do it on kids.
Yeah.
Cool as in unique storytelling, not cool as in experimenting on children.
Yeah.
Because I know someone's going to bring that up. But like that was kind of the unique thing. It only worked on kids. And then with that, it didn't even have a very high success rate.
Most of them died, yeah.
But like even Evelyn herself was difficult to fight because of that ability. But it was weird because it caused her to rapidly age at the same time. I mean, rapidly age.
Yeah, that's why she turned into grandma and you didn't really know it. And the neat thing about that story point is it only works on children, but their flaw in the plan, just like most Umbrella's plans or whoever designed does, is that you're giving a child a bunch of powers. You know, you're giving like a teenager the kingdom in a sense. They're gonna run, you know, mayhem and havoc everywhere. You know, they can't control. They have emotional outbursts. You know, and just like she wanted a family, you know, she would do anything, murder.
Yeah, to get
consume-
it.
Yeah, so like, yeah, they
Manipulate,
have
control.
tantrums and stuff like that. It's like, yeah, you're giving this kid that you can't control super duper powers over here. So, funny thing, it happens in a lot of, I don't know, scary movies and things like that.
That's an interesting concept. I didn't think of it that way. Like, yeah, you would like. I see where they were going with it. Like, oh, let's give it to a kid. That way, we can control the child to kind of doing what we want, raising it a certain way, so it becomes a certain thing. But it's like you nailed it right there. It's like you're giving a unstable human infinite power, literally near infinite power.
And how are you gonna stop it?
Yeah, how do you plan to control this? Like
Coaxing it, but if you coax it too much, then it thinks it's in control.
right.
Yeah, but very Resident Evil in that. The hive mind of her, since she was so powerful, and
Yeah, that was
she
kinda
controlled the bio. She like infected people were infected once she got inside you.
Which was kind of unclear on how that worked. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't know if it was like the spores. I didn't know if it was Zagoo. I didn't know if it was telepathic.
I don't know, because like on the ship, the guy was attacked by one of the monsters, and
Right.
that's how he became infected. Is because like they pierce your skin, like the biological mass got inside, and that's how he was infected. Because
Yeah,
Neo wasn't at first either.
No, it's kind of almost bloodborne, if you will.
Yeah.
Like you become infected through bodily fluid, a chemical, or direct contact.
Yeah.
You know, and so that was interesting because it was kind of unclear on how that worked, but it was kind of a hive mind aspect to some extent, like because Evelyn could control the ones she wanted to, and I think like the molded or Zagoo monsters or whatever you want to call them, were just kind of her giving up on controlling, and so they just kind of worked into this.
Experimenting.
Yeah, or experimenting. It's hard to say. That's one of the great things about the game is that like there's not really a good freaking answer.
Yeah. Because like the kidnapped people they used to eat, and she wanted playthings and family members. That kind of explains that. But then you got the guys on the boat, which were like the original turned, like, but those were just experimenting her powers. And she admits it because she was throwing up and spreading that mass in different parts of the ship.
Yeah.
Those were like experimentation. But she kept creating those for family members. But like the Baker family was total control. Like it was total hive mind. They report, she controls, and even at one point when you're like inside Evelyn's mind or whatever, you see the family, and the dad's like, please kill her so we can be free.
Yeah.
Please do this for my family. So you could totally tell they weren't in control, and it was total hive mind. Amazing.
And with the Baker family, it makes sense because that was already an established family unit that she could just insert herself in. Because it even says in one of the notes that Jack found her on the outskirts of the ship,
Yeah.
and took her in because, you know, that's what any good Samaritan would do. Sadly for him, didn't really turn out that well.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was quite interesting. Yeah, but that was kind of a cool little feature because it did focus on hive mind. Because like, I know Las Plagas was a little hive mindy, but it wasn't like that total control. It was just more of like everybody had this like instinctual path that they had to follow. The zombies from the first couple games, they were just chaotic evil. You know, they were just moving around causing problems.
Yeah.
Ouroboros, I really don't remember how that worked. I can't remember if it was hive mind or not, but I think it was sort of like Las Plagas because it even says Ouroboros was a mutation of the Las Plagas parasite.
Yeah.
And so it was just kind of more of like, hey, like if I just point them in the right direction, they'll cause problems that we need them to.
Yeah.
So it was a nice feature. It was a nice twist. It wasn't that
It fit
zombie feel.
well.
You did.
It fit
It
amazing.
fit really well.
Like the whole hive mind thing, and then like you actually see the Baker family in their like mind state, whatever. Brilliant piece. It was so well to the story.
Oh yeah,
Like,
that was actually kind of like heart wrenching because it's like you hated Jack, you fucking hated him.
Yeah.
Throughout the whole game, and then like you see this part, and it's like, shit, I kind of feel bad now.
Yeah, because you're like, it wasn't Jack. It was this little girl that was controlling you the
Yeah.
whole time. You're like, oh man, now I feel bad for killing all your family.
Sort of.
Sort of, yeah. But it's also good that, because at like point when you're kind of like losing control and she's giving you illusions and stuff, you're like, okay, well I can self-heal and stuff, but I'm losing my mind, and like this girl's a monster, she's in my head. You know, she's giving me these powers to continue, but yeah, I don't know, it ties everything so well. They did so well in the story.
Oh yeah.
Ow.
We'll skip this next part. So we kind of talked about a little bit briefly, like, and we did say we were going to talk about this, like, who is Ethan? Is he still infected? What's his role in all this, aside from being kind of thrown into a real shit show? I think there's more to it than that. Because, you know, like we said, you don't know who Ethan is.
Nope.
You don't know what he looks like.
Which I like.
Which is cool. You know that your wife, your girlfriend, I think it's your wife, they say that at the beginning, your wife disappears for 3 years, and you kind of give up hope without giving up hope, and then you find out, like, oh, she's alive. It's like, okay, so it's a dude going to find his wife.
Yeah.
Okay, I can bite that, but it's like, there's got to be more to it than that, because, you know, this dude, he survives pretty damn well. given the circumstances. I think any other person would have probably freaked the fuck out and said, fuck this shit, and took the gun to their own head halfway through, if not a quarter of the way through the game.
The camera guys were freaked out of that house. And Ethan just nonchalantly walked in. I mean, a few times he's like, oh, fuck, or shit, or things like that, or what the fuck's going on? But he's pretty well-mannered through most of the game.
Well, he's willing to take that step, which makes me think that, like, okay, maybe Ethan is maybe like a trained operative, or maybe worked for the same company Mia did, or something, which might tie in with the Redfields thing.
Yeah. I imagine him as Nathan Drake, the face, because that's like total protagonist look. Because like the way he wears his like sleeves and everything with the rolled up.
That's how I do it at work.
I know, but the thing is like.
I'm not a hero. I get it.
No, yeah, no.
Oh.
But like, who is Ethan? You don't know. He's you. You're him. You control him. They give you motivation. They do a really good job. You don't know, and then when you get to the end and he's like, what took you guys so long, basically? You're like, who the fuck is this guy? He's a total badass and had all his limbs cut off, and he's
still going.
Like,
screwed up, but still going. And originally, like with this next part on, like, is he infected? I was going to argue no, but you brought up a good point with you can't shoot her because she's in your head. And so, yeah, I guess he would be infected.
Yeah. Well, you kind of came to that conclusion yourself.
Yeah,
but like, yeah, so when you see Grandma throughout the game, you don't know. You're just like, why don't I just kill Grandma? So she stops appearing in random places. Because, it turns out it's Evelyn, and you can't shoot her because either she's, A, controlling you, or B, it would screw the plot point. But I like to think, too, that she's controlling you.
Yeah, I think the fact that she's controlling you is more believable.
And, I mean, at that point, you already had your arm cut off. Before you even get your first gun or whatever. So they heal you back with their whatever medicine and pour that
Spirit
liquid.
Juice.
Yeah, and but monsters already attack you and stuff like that.
Well, it's interesting too though, because like at the part where you get the cure to cure Mia, Zoe, and then hopefully yourself, there's only enough for 2. There's 3 of you, and you use one of them to kill Jack. So there's only 1 left. And it's like, okay, like, so how was... It didn't make sense on how, like, you could take one but not the other with you, but then you could leave as well. So it's like, are you infected? Are you cured? Or...
Yeah,
like, it didn't make sense. Like, how come they can't leave, but I can't?
Which they knew they were infected because they started feeling it, and you could see it turn, like, in Mia's face and stuff.
Yeah.
And Zoe knew because she was a Baker family member. And, like, lived in the house.
She was able to resist.
And she was accepted in the house, though.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
She was accepted, but she was also a rebel. The thing is, like, you didn't know you were affected. You didn't know how the medicine and stuff worked. And you didn't know why you couldn't shoot Grandma. But later on, when you start getting, like, you go through the boat scenes, and then you're back to Ethan after you end up in that mass enough covered up and Mia cuts you out.
Yeah.
If you took the Mia route, that is. Which we did. When you're trying to get to Evelyn through the later part of the game, you're actually hallucinating and seeing things that aren't there, and you shoot, and it's not hitting anything.
Right.
And you're trying to kill her, but she's in your head, and then you're also insta-healing. Like,
yeah.
I'm pretty sure you're infected, but you don't really, like, I don't think it just clicks 2 cents, because, like, through the whole game, I didn't think I was infected at all.
Yeah, I didn't either. And then, like, when I started breaking down, like, what we'd gone through, the lore... And just kind of thinking about it, it's like, wait, is Ethan infected?
Has to be at this point.
Which might explain why Umbrella was so interested in picking him up.
The only way, that's one thing, is like, now Umbrella's interested in you guys because they might have lost to Zoe and Mia. I don't remember if she lives, but now they have you.
Well, she does if you save her.
Yeah, as an operative. So,
yeah.
Like,
oh, hey, let's just put him through the gambit and see what happens.
Unless my only other theory is, like, you're part of Umbrella or whatever, and if you're part of it, they probably gave you something to fight it off, because I forgot what they mentioned fights it off. There's, like, a toxin.
Yeah, it was a neurotoxin that you put together and acquire, which will kill Evelyn.
Yeah. So... it may give you the ability to heal quickly, but the toxins in your body might destroy it. So that's why the healing property works. But if you might be working for Umbrella, they might have been prepared.
Yeah, because they say that they've been observing the place for a couple of weeks and things like that, and trying to figure it out.
But you would have known about the toxin and how to cure it and kill it at the beginning. But see, that's where the weird plot point sign is, like, who the hell is he? How does it work? Why is it? Yeah. But
So overall thoughts?
brilliant. I would probably play it again given some time. Probably choose the Zoe route because I want to know how much of the story that changes.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I've looked it up, and it's interesting, but it's not that changing of the story.
Does it not give any lore points at all, really?
Do you want me to ruin it?
Yeah, go for it.
Oh, okay. So, if you choose Zoe, Mia gets visibly upset with you. But Ethan's point is, no, Zoe knows the way out. We'll come back and get help.
Yeah.
Kind of like when you choose Mia, Zoe gets upset. Sorry, there's only one fucking cure. I don't know, split it in half? King Solomon it?
Yeah.
So you take Zoe with you, and the boat scene where you get attacked, and it switches to Mia, well, you get attacked, Zoe dies, Ethan get captured in Zagoo, and then all of a sudden Mia appears in the same place. Here's the funny thing. After you play as Mia in the boat like you normally do, you get to the point where Evelyn controls Mia again, and she gets pissed off that you left her to die at the plantation, and you have to like beat her to death with a fucking crowbar. And then you continue on through the rest of the game like normal, and then when you leave at the end, I guess you're not as fucked up as before, because like there's a scene where you're sitting in a jump seat in a helicopter, and you pull up your cell phone and it shows like footage of Mia like when you two were together, and you just kind of throw it out the window and say fuck it, whatever. It's like, whoa, time out here. Like, you spent 3 years looking for her, found her, made some poor decisions, she went crazy trying to kill you, you bludgeon her to quote death, and then you just say fuck it, whatever, I abandon her.
Yeah.
Not really. So I think we picked the good ending.
Yeah, people were saying Zoe was the good ending.
Really?
Which is, yeah, online. That's why, I don't know.
We may have to go back and do it again.
Mia would
but...
be good because, like, that's the reason you're there.
Yeah.
And Zoe's, like, she's part of the family. She wants out, but it's kind of like, it's her family.
She dies.
She has to... But then she dies. It's like, that is the worst thing. Because
like, I could see,
instant mistake.
Yeah, I could see, like, you know, you escaping with Zoe if you chose Zoe, or you escaping with Mia if you chose Mia.
Yeah.
I get that. But the fact that she dies and it jumps back to Mia, like, it's almost unavoidable. You have to play as Mia. It's like, okay, so you guys kind of wrote yourselves into a corner there or something?
Yeah. Like, if she immediately dies, that seems like such a waste of time and choice.
And that's what a lot of people, from what I heard, were upset by picking Zoe.
Yeah.
But,
that aside, I guess, though, I love the game.
Yeah.
I mean, it's... Now that I know the second, I would probably still play it just to see it or, like, YouTube it. It was definitely worth at least one playthrough, and props to those people who speedrun it.
Well, I'm going back and replaying it. Like, that's how much I enjoyed it. It's definitely worth the money to play it. If you like that type of game, you'll really enjoy it.
Yeah.
I think it's a good direction that the genre is going in.
Very, yes.
And the franchise itself, because it's the direction it needed to go in. Like, it got way too action-y, and it went to shit real fast.
It's about time they adopted first person.
Yeah, oh, God, that needs to be mandatory from now on.
If they do VR, fuck my life.
Oh, I'm not doing VR on that crap.
Nope, yep, nope. I would totally Pope of Nope that shit. But that's it for us.
You guys have hung around a long time.
It's actually one of our longer ones, huh?
Yeah.
But... So this is the Flickering Torch Podcast, and I'm Smithus.
And Mr. Dead Scott.
And thank you for joining us, and hopefully we'll have a good topic next time. We have a good choice, so...
we got a lot of good choices.
So hopefully we'll surprise you, but thank you for joining us, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Bye-bye.